morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mindfulness broadcast. I am happy to be here with you in what's left of our snow at my house. I'm glad you're here, and we get to end the week and begin our weekend together in the Mindfulness broadcast. So I've been teaching all week. I've been on Zoom teaching essential coaching skills, which is one of our favorite courses to teach, really bringing the art and science of coaching to leaders and frontline workers and coaches in training, and really helping us understand what is coaching and what is not coaching, and how do we really coach on purpose. And throughout, I've got two courses running simultaneously right now, and overwhelmingly, what I heard from folks this week specifically is how they're being with so much unknown right now, regardless of political stance or job description. There are just a lot of unknowns right now around funding, and I've talked to employers who aren't sure how the tariffs will impact them and what that means, and bottom line. And there's just a lot of changes going on. And many of you are working with people who are also being impacted by this unknown. So it's really, we're sitting in our own space of unknown, and we're reverberating with the energy of others who are in a place of unknown. And I want to just kind of drop that into mindfulness and neuroscience. So again, I'm not talking about good, bad, or otherwise, just stating what feels like a kind of global space of kind of like what's going to happen, right? What are the impacts, and what are the changes, and what's going to happen to the world, to our country, to my job, to me, and so forth. And so it goes very big, and also can feel very personal, what's going to happen to those I serve, and what are the impacts of this. And so if we look at just a state of unknowingness through the lens of neuroscience, pardon me, I'm still working through this flu I've had for a couple of weeks. That is a state that the brain does not like. The brain really likes to know. The brain really likes prediction. It really likes patterns. It really likes to know, how can I keep this thing safe as we go through day-to-day living? And when there's unknowns to that, the brain responds. It's prepped. It's more ready to be looking for evidence of threat and to help keep us safe during that time. That is part of our negativity bias in our brain, right? Our negativity bias in our brain is that we're kind of constantly scanning for what might be a threat, and what do I need to be aware of to help protect myself and my species. And we're just wired that way. And so we're in a place of unknown, working with people where there's unknowingness, and our brain is constantly looking for more evidence of threat. And that combination can land in us as a feeling of major discomfort, anxiety, overwhelm, inability to focus and concentrate, more agitation, less patience, more self-critical talk. There might be some isolation. We might be, because of our default mode networks, we might also begin to kind of think about, well, who's in my camp and who's in the other camp. And all of that is happening without really our prefrontal cortex involved making the decision to do all of this. This is lower brain work of our brain that's working just to keep us alive. And that's a lot to carry through the day, especially if we're not naming it. So where we bring mindfulness into this is to be able to build some awareness, self-awareness around the process that most of us find ourselves in, a state of unknowingness. So if I can name it, if I can be aware of it, then I can I can speak to myself more kindly. I can give myself a little bit more grace. I can practice empathy with other people, right? I can hold space a little differently when I'm working with people who might also be in their unknowingness. But our very first thing is that we have to be able to name it, to know that it's happening, and to know that our power lies within the namingness. We can't control the unknowing, but we can control how we are in relationship to the unknowing, right? So I want to say that again. We can't control the unknowing. We can control our relationship to the unknowing. So we're going to use our practice this morning just to continue that work of building self-awareness, what's present in our body. A really beautiful practice for this is the body scan. That's what we're going to use this morning, where we really just kind of go through physically and mentally and emotionally the different places of our body and check in. How are we doing here? What's happening? Where are we maybe holding some tension and we didn't know? And where can we build in both real space and ease and also metaphorical space and ease? So we're going to get into the practice this morning. Before we go in, I do want to let you know, last month, no, in December, I was going to teach a boundaries workshop through OEDA, Oregon Employment Training Association. We didn't have enough enrollees, and so we moved it to February. It is next week. I know there's a lot going on in the world. If you want to attend, please do check the link that Jen just put in the chat. If you are an OEDA member, you have a discounted price. It is next Thursday. So that's there, and I hope to see you there. All right, let's get into our practice this morning. You can go ahead and close your eyes or take a soft gaze. Just begin this morning by feeling your body in the present space that it's in. Often it feels like our head is so busy that we forget that it's attached to this body of ours. So let's just see if we can land in the body. If you're outside, maybe you're feeling the cool temperatures on your skin. If you're inside, perhaps you're feeling maybe the contact with the chair. Feeling your clothes on your body, the different textures, the different tightness. Feeling your feet inside your shoes, wiggling your toes. Notice the posture of your body. And if you want to invite any changes into that, maybe bringing your shoulders down, lifting your chest, bringing a strength and attentiveness to your spine, and a softness to your belly, lifting the crown of your head. And then feeling how your body dances with your breath. This essence of life, bringing it in. Exhaling slowly. We're going to start our body scan this morning by bringing your attention to your feet. Noticing what's going on down there. The temperature of your toes. Feeling where you've got your balance, pressure point. Bringing your energy up the front of your shins and into your calves. As we do this, we're just observing, just bringing our attention to this place in our body. And while in the moment, we might question, what's the point of focusing on the shin? Understanding that we're really kind of building this quote unquote muscle, our ability to place our attention somewhere. Moving up into your knees, your quads, your hamstrings. When we allow our brain to guide our process, our mind goes in all sorts of directions, especially when there's unknowingness and we're actively looking for evidence of threat. So by placing our attention somewhere on purpose, learning how to do this in the moment when we need it, we can come back to perhaps a mantra, a statement, something like, right now I am safe, or I am here right now. Bring your attention into your pelvis. If you're sitting, noticing where your balance points are. Again, noticing discomfort or ease. Moving up into the lower core, noticing your belly, where you might be holding tension or kind of sucking in. Real common thing for us to do. Listening to any sounds of digestion or hunger. Moving into the back, noticing that strength of the spine. Again, bringing awareness to any discomfort, just observing, naming. Without judgment, without story. Coming up into the upper chest and the upper back, feeling your breath, noticing where it is, if it's moving in and out deeply or if it's high in your lungs. Bringing attention to your neck and your shoulders. Place where it's very common for us to hold stress. Moving our attention through the arms and all the way through the fingers. Again, noticing temperature, noticing posture, how we're holding our hands. And then finally up through the neck, into the face. Noticing your lips, the placement of your tongue. The air moving in and out of your nostrils, or the lack thereof if you've been sick. Moving up to your eyes, the space between your eyebrows. Again, noticing pain, noticing ease. This simple practice builds our ability to bring our attention into focus. And that is a superpower in a world full of unknowing and a head full of a brain who wants to know. Being able to be present, to name what's happening, and to be in relationship with that thing mindfully. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, bring your gaze back together. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Be well, and we will see you next Friday.